Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and this morning we're visiting with Kristin Hildabrand, Warren County Extension Agent for Horticulture. Now, Kristin, it is summer and we want to be outside gardening or maybe walking nature trails, but there are some things that we need to consider to make sure that we're safe out there in the summer.
Absolutely. Gardening is such a great hobby and it's great for physical activity. There's a lot of benefits that you reap just through gardening, but there are some things, within outside that you kind of just need to be mindful of, so that way that you can keep some of those hazards that we run into with gardening a little bit, minimal, so that way we can still enjoy and not take away from our gardening hobby. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is dressing appropriately. So there's a lot of things that we come in contact outside. The sun, depending on when you garden, can be harmful depending on what the UV rays are for that particular type of day, because gardening is not just something that happens just in the spring. It goes through the summer, even into the fall. I like to wear long pants and a long shirt, so that way that I'm not being exposed to like different things outside, because it seems like I always get some kind of bug bite or something on my legs, and you never know within that area what might happen. So definitely for sun protection, wear some clothing that might have some SPF into it. If you're going to be outside, we recommend you wear like a wide brimmed hat. Baseball caps are okay, but the thing about those is that they expose your ears to the sun a lot more, and not a lot of people will actually put sunscreen on those areas. So a wide brim hat that's going to cover your full face and also your neck, so that way that you won't have any sun that will get back to those areas. So make sure that you do that. And if you're going to be out between 10 and 4 when, UV is at the highest, you really do need to wear some sunscreen. Generally, we say SPF or sun protection factor of at least 15. The greater that number is on your sunscreen, then the better the protection is going to be. So you can kind of look for that. If you've got small children around, you probably want to have something a little bit stronger for them. But you definitely need to look and make sure that you're reapplying. Some of them may say sweat proof, but it's good to reapply it after so many hours. And you can kind of look to your manufacturer's labeled about reapplication. And get a friend or somebody that can put it on those areas of your back, or something like that you can't often reach. So definitely look for sunscreen. Also, if you're using some machinery, some type of equipment, even when you're using a lawnmower around your garden areas, it's really good to even think about earplugs or ear protection. I know that there's noise canceling devices that even play music and things like that. So definitely have those available to you that fit, over those type of areas, so that way, because if you're yelling at somebody and you're at an arm's length, you've had some noise damage. So think about those type things. One of the other things I did want to mention is about your tetanus vaccines. Generally, gardeners come in contact with a lot of the soil, and we have sharp objects, whether it be thorns or even with our gardening tools. So it's really important to make sure that you've got your tetanus vaccines up to date. And usually for adults, we recommend that every 10 years. So if you're not, if you've gotten that shot, just check with your healthcare provider to make sure that's up to date, because that is definitely something, if you've got any cuts around your hands and things like that, that could potentially be not very good for your health. And make sure you've got gloves on. Everybody kind of has a certain type or brand that they like the most. You definitely want to make sure you have gloves on. But just by drinking plenty of water before you go out, if you're going to be out for extended periods of time. We don't really recommend that you have anything to eat, because you could come in contact with things that, with your working out in the garden, and also eating is not the best. But definitely stay hydrated, take breaks if you feel like you need to, go to a shaded area, so that way you can kind of cool off, and then you can always, come back to that gardening activity later.
Absolutely. So all great tips to keep in mind to make sure that we stay safe out in the summer, because sometimes we can get so excited, Kristin, and we're just running out there. We might forget the water and the clothing and those type of things.
Absolutely.
But that's certainly going to keep us healthy for a longer period of time and be preventative, so that we don't have skin cancer issues and things like that.
Absolutely. So hopefully this was helpful.
All right. Thanks, Kristin, for the information. If you have any questions about summer safety, contact your local extension office. Thanks for watching and have a great day.